Okay, class, let's take a look. So here, here is where were we in the previous lesson? We stopped at the
52 mental factor. Okay, I remember I tried to ask all of you have a guess, especially for this diagram. So you all try to make a guess, and then from here the diagram again we come back in chapter number 2. In the very beginning, we start with the definition in the first place, which we call it as a mental factor. I forget to share screen now. Okay, class. Okay, basically in chapter number 2, in the very beginning, chapter number 1, we study about 89 citta. So in the 89 citta, now we come to know that for each one citta, inside they got mental factor also. And the mental factor, there's totally 52 types. And within the 52 types, we try to categorize them. Before we categorize them, the relationship between the citta and cetasika, they are arise together, and then they disappear together, and then they will share some same object, and also with the same, share with the same object. Then one more characteristic is they're having the same base, meaning to say that they need the same base, the same base, the nerve, in order to make it come out. See, so this is their characteristic. Then in previous lesson, let's take a look. We already categorize them. We make them with a different category. Number one is the ethical variable, meaning to say that they are changing depends on who they're mixed with lah. So there's a two type. Is one is the universe 7, second is the occasional 6. So both group basically they're ethical variable. They don't have the fixed character. That could be favorable. That could be not favorable. It depends on who they deal with lah. The unwholesome factor, meaning to say that they are quite sure we can say that they are unwholesome. Wherever they are, the citta is considered unwholesome. Basically, there were two types. Once we call it as a universe, meaning to say all the unwholesome citta, you will see this four types of the unwholesome universe. Okay. And then we come to the beautiful factor, meaning to say that for all the beautiful citta, they will have the beautiful universe. But regards to abstinence, illimitability, and non-delusion, it depends on the context. Okay, so this is the previous lesson. You all make a guess. Now we really go through. The condense. So number one, the universe. How? Okay, Juntat, can you please read the passage? Juntat.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay. How? You can just see the.
Okay. The 50. Okay. Yeah. How? Okay. How? 1, contact. 2, feelings. 3, perception. 4, volition. 5, 1, pointedness. 6, mental life faculty. And 7, attention. These 7 mental factors are termed universals, that is common to every consciousness. The 52 mental factors. The Abhidhamma philosophy recognizes 52 cetasikas, which are classified into 4 broad categories, as may be seen in table 2.1. 1, 7 universals. 2, 6 occasionals. 3, 14 unwholesome factors. And 4, 25 beautiful factors. The ethically variable factors. The first 2 categories of mental factors, the 7 universals and the 6 occasions, are united under the designation anasamana, freely rendered here as ethically variable. The expression literally means common to the others. The non-beautiful cittas are called others, ana, in relation to the beautiful cittas, and the beautiful cittas are called other in relation to the non-beautiful cittas. The 13 cittasikas of the first two categories are common, samana, to both beautiful and non-beautiful cittas. Assume the ethical quality imparted to the cittas by the other cittasikas, particularly the associated roots. In wholesome cittas, they become wholesome. In unwholesome cittas, they become unwholesome. And in karmically indeterminate cittas, they become karmically indeterminate. For this reason, they are called common to the other, that is ethically variable. The universals. The 7 universals are the cetasikas common, sadharana, to all consciousness, sabbacitta. These factors perform the most rudimentary and essential cognitive functions, without which consciousness of an object would be utterly impossible.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, finish. Class, take a look. So number first, we have a definition
For ethically variable factor. Class, take a look. From here, we are able to see the ethically variable. So just now we mentioned this part, they are ethically variable, meaning to say that they will define, okay, if they are present in the unwholesome consciousness, they wouldn't be present in the beautiful consciousness. If non-beautiful in the beautiful consciousness, if let's say they're present in the beautiful consciousness, they wouldn't be present in the unwholesome consciousness. So they call them each other as other lah. So meaning to say that practical variable, if the presence here, they don't presence in the consciousness. Sorry, actually the consciousness is supposed to refer to this diagram. Let's take a look, sir. We come to the diagram 1.1, okay? 1.1. 1.1. Okay, list of table, let's see. Okay, the table okay, page 28. So class, take a look. So see, class, for the ethical variable, if let's say they are present in this unwholesome citta, you never see them appear in the sense sphere beautiful, five material sphere, immaterial sphere, and the supramantate citta. If let's say the ethical variable, they are present with all these are beautiful, you will never see them present in the non-beautiful. So that is the meaning for that. Okay, so I think you're able to get it, okay, but if you don't get it, also common, the reason is we take quite a long time to get to get it. Never mind, if you feel blur, it's okay, okay. Let's continue lah. No matter how, we still continue to take a look for this. So Sally, can you please read number 1, contact, until number 3, perception. Yes, please, Sally.
1. Contact. The word pasa is derived from the verb pusati, meaning to touch. But contact should not be understood as a mere physical impact of the object on bodily faculty. It is rather the mental factor by which consciousness mentally touches the object that has appeared, thereby initiating the entire cognitive event. In the terms of fourfold defining device used in the Pali commentaries, contact has the characteristic of touching. Its function is unimpingement, as it causes consciousness and the object to impinge. Its manifestation is the concurrence of consciousness, sense faculty, and object. Its proximate cause is an object field that has come into focus. 2. Feeling. Feeling is the mental factor that feels the object. It is the effective mode in which the object is experienced. The Pali word nidana does not signify emotion, which appears to be complex phenomena involving a variety of non-competent mental factors, but the bare effective quality of an experience which may be either pleasant, painful, or neutral. Feeling is said to have the characteristic of vidayita. Its function is experiencing, or its function is to enjoy the desirable effect of the object. Its manifestation is the relation of the associated mental factors. Its approximate cause is tranquility, whereas the other mental factors experience the object only derivatively. Feeling experiences it directly and fully. In this respect, the other factors are compared to a cook who prepares the dish for the king and only samples the food while preparing it, while feeling is compared to the king who enjoys the meal as much as he likes. Perception, sana. The characteristic of perception is perceiving of the qualities of the object. Its function is to make the sight as the condition for perceiving things. This is the thing, or its function is recognizing what has been previously perceived. It becomes manifested as the interpretation of the object by way of the pictures that has been presented. Its opposite cause is the object as it is. Its procedure is compared to a carpenter's recognition of certain kinds of wood by the mark he has made on each.
Celia, okay, your sound system is quite bad. During your reading, a lot of interference of the sound. A lot of interference of the sound. Make sure you reduce the interference. It never happened before, just today only.
Check how come so many interference are.
Okay, I changed the what?
Okay, class, let's take a look. Before we go further, I forget we got one fact.
That the meaning of the universe. The meaning of the universe meaning to say that class basically once we call it as a universe, meaning to say that 89 chitta, all group of the chitta, they must possess the universe. So the universe, they call it as they are the rudimentary, you see not? They are the rudimentary and they are the essential connective function. So without them, that is impossible. So this seven universe, they will exist for all 89 cetasika. So we discuss one by one. So number one, we call it as a contact. Okay, class, take a look. Basically, Abhidhamma analyzed everything in a microscopic way. But once we try to explain, we explain in a more macro way, so that we can feel it. So in a very superficial way, we talk about contact, meaning to say that contact, see or not? So this is the cup, right? My hand contact the cup. So not meaning to say that there will be some impingement, right? Impingement, so I get the contact for it. So this is a simple definition for contact. Whereas a contact can happen in many faculties. See, when we see the thing, there must be some contact in the first place. Okay, meaning to say that the color they will be coming touch my nerve, so that is the primary contact. And once there's a sound we hear, the sound primarily will reach to the nerve in my ear, so they will quite a primary contact. The rest all is the same. So that is the meaning for the contact. Basically, for every cetasika, they will mention in 4 situations to make us understand. Okay, basically, some they are quite similar, especially number 1, characteristic and the manifestation. They are quite similar. And the proximate cause is very important because it shows us how to make this happen. How will this happen? So characteristics will be very important. And for you, if it's possible, please memorize one among the 4, so that next time you can try to join all the Dharma. Because without the memorizing power, you cannot join what you learned before. So class, let's take a look. So according to Abhidhamma, contact meaning to say is to touch. You see, the function is the impingement. Just now mentioned impingement. The manifestation is what? Concurrence of the consciousness, sense, faculty, and the object. So I mentioned already, so I don't underline it. Proximate cause is an objective field that has come into focus. So meaning to say that when you go to see the thing, there's something you come to the focus. See or not? You come to the focus and it starts the impingement already. So we say this is the number 1. We call it as a contact. Second will be the feeling. Basically, feeling is very easy to understand. You see or not? May I know who is who is experiencing the air come from the aircon or the fan? Can you put up your hand? 吹緊風扇同埋 aircon 嘅 Sally, okay, so you see, you can feel, right, the air touch your skin, right? I think you feel comfortable, right? Sure, you feel comfortable, and maybe the air from the aircon more comfortable to the fan, but not necessarily if you feel too cold, you feel uncomfortable. So meaning to say that once you feel, oh, this is pleasant feeling, or it can be unpleasant feeling, or it could be tranquility or neutral feeling. So that's what we call it as a feeling. So this feeling is easy to feel. And besides the skin, actually the whole part of the body, we can feel the feeling, especially we are using our tongue to feel the food. For example, previously it's the durian season, right? Okay, if let's say you put the durian which is not yet ripened into your mouth, then you immediately feel that, oh, this is a unpleasant feeling. Now you know or not? Now the new operation is they go to pluck the durian or for the Musang King or the D24, without waiting, it dropped down. But I heard that if it's a Thailand durian, they're allowed to do so that they have enough time for export. But recently, I know I listened to the podcast. They mentioned that basically, if the Musang King in D24, you go to pluck it and waiting for the ripen, it might not be good. It is correct. Anybody experienced that? So you have to really you shouldn't pluck it yourself. You have to wait. So meaning to say, that if you put a ripened durian a moisture enough put into the tongue, so the tongue will feel, oh, it's very good. So that is the pleasant feeling, okay? But basically, even though it's a pleasant feeling, once you feel full already, you don't want to eat anymore. If I force you to eat, put one more into your mouth, maybe it will turn out become unpleasant feeling. And usually the pleasant feeling come to the first moment. Do you have experience or not? You eat a durian, for example, from durian tempatan to the Musang King, okay, then you feel that, wow, so nice. Because in the beginning, your tongue experienced the durian tempatan, which is lower quality, and then you change to the good quality is the Musang King. Oh, it's drastically changed. You feel, oh, that is how nice it is. But if let's say you eat Musang King first, then you shift to the durian tempatan. So what is your feeling, Elena?
I am not really a fantastic durian lover.
Yeah.
Any durian is durian. The taste might be slightly different. I know Musang King, I like the bitterness there. But you change it to the other one, you ask me, what's the feeling? How much is it? To me, I'm quite neutral on it.
Neutral, okay. So you answer what I want the answer. So the third feeling is a neutral feeling. You see or not? Sometimes, if let's say we experience something for a long time, especially, I mean, okay, in the first moment you eat Musang King durian, oh, very nice, right? Okay, then you eat the second one, okay, do you notice or not? Basically, the feeling, the joy, will start to drop down. Okay, maybe I ask Elena another question. You have more feeling. You see, once we go to travel, for example, Silk Road, actually we are shifting the hotel from one hotel to another hotel. You have to do so like a refugee, In the very beginning, you go to a 5-star hotel, you see, wow, so nice, right? You feel it's beautiful. Elena, the feeling of nice, how long it can sustain, you think?
One night only, my night. Tomorrow you'll be moving to another hotel.
One night, I think maybe just 10 seconds, Elena, for me. Because in the very beginning, you come from very hot place, right? And then open sea, wow, very luxury, 5-star. But you see later on, after the 5 to 10 minutes, you feel nothing already. Am I right? Because you use it to eat already. So basically, it's from the pleasant feeling shift to the neutral feeling. So that's why people have to give us a birthday surprise. They don't let you know, because once you know already, no more surprise. That will be neutral feeling already. So in order to create surprise, you must be unknown to the something in the first place. Get it? So that's we call the feeling. Elena, basically, no matter what star, sometimes it's really neutral feeling because you are too tired already. Once you reach the hotel, what you want is a hot bath. After hot bath, you sleep. Then you wake up. No chance to see how beautiful the hotel. You start to rush out already. Really like a refugee, actually. So sometimes it's a neutral feeling. But basically for the Silk Road, they cover all the hotel expenses. And sometimes, especially my time, go to Indian pilgrimage. The purpose for 5-star hotel is for security. I remember in certain places, they are insecure in India. That's about 20 years ago. So that's why we are forced to put inside. They have to catch us in the 5-star hostel just for the safety only. At that moment, once you think about the insecurity, you don't have the pleasant feeling, even though the ambient is good, but you can't feel that. I remember during we go to the Lingjiu-san, actually got somebody accompany us with the gun, So if that's the case, how do you have a pleasant feeling? Because in the past trip, among about another one trip for the pilgrimage, there have been robbed already. Oh, the robbed, they've been robbed by the robbery with a gun, So later on, next trip we come, a police with the gun accompany us to go up. So we got a pleasant feeling. No, it's unpleasant feeling already. So that's what this is very easy to experience the second one. So take a look, class. So the feeling. So we say feels the object. Then either pleasant, painful or neutral. So just now we mentioned already. So you see, this is the characteristic of being felt, you see. The function is experiencing. So just now you say, oh, I feel the fan, the air from the fan or air from the aircon, you experiencing it, you see. So class, I say, function is to enjoy the desirable aspect, but it could be also not enjoy especially it's a painful feeling, it will become undesirable aspect of the object already. And the proximal cause is the tranquility. This is especially for the jhana only. If let's say it's not the jhana, it wouldn't be tranquility. Let's take a look to the footnote number 6. Footnote number 6. Where is the footnote number 6? The footnote is in the last page, am I right? Let's see here a perception. Okay, footnote number 6. I see. Maybe in the last page, right? The footnote it is correct. The footnote is in the last page. I don't see that Footnote. Okay, let's check the notes. Yes. Class take a look is now footnote number 6, chapter number 1, chapter number 2. Okay, so number 6 is this. Okay, if you're not able to find, please take a look to your screen. So said the commentary, but it seems that tranquility is as proximate clause solely to the pleasant feeling with the developing of the concentration. So meaning to say that basically the what we call it as the proximate cause. It could be the other one. Because we don't all experience the concentration. So we get this already. This is the footnote number 6. Then come back, have a look and see here. It's about the okay. Then we go to the perception sanya. Let's take a look. So this is the mark. So you see, wood how come these people appeared? I think it's quite famous. I think the name of this guy is Wood. Okay, basically, maybe I have to put this industry wood. You see, in the industry wood, we'll put the label on it, right? We put the label. So what's the purpose for the label, Mr. Leong? What's the purpose? We put the label on each pieces of the wood.
For identification.
Yeah, for identification, for the recognition. So we know that, oh, this is the wood number A, this is the wood number B. Okay, then if let's say I am the Hitler, I will tell Mr. Leong, hey, please bring me the wood number A and the Z. So you know which one to bring to me, right? Okay, so that is the purpose of the perception sanya. Meaning to say that we are trying to labeling. This is the best word I know this. Label. Class, why we can feel the perception? Because we try to label everything. Since we are in our childhood, we have been taught this is the white color. Okay, so this is the black color. All right, okay, then this is the red color. So meaning to say that by knowing all the different color, the labeling, we recognize all this. So we wouldn't confuse with the color. And say, okay, from the color begin, then we try to recognize all the different name of the animals, whatever. So this is how we start to perceive the whole world by the perception. Okay. If let's say we tell the kids that, hey, Mr. Leong, this is the white color. So this is the red. This is the red color. What does that mean? What does that mean? On the mic.
Your perception of the
No.
color.
No, 呢個叫做教壞細蚊仔。Yeah, you remember or not? So what does it mean 教壞細蚊仔? Meaning to say that we teach them the wrong thing, then it will influence their future. So they will confuse with all the color already. But basically more on the morality. We talk about 教壞細蚊仔 is morality. The bad habit, the unwholesome you say is a wholesome, and the wholesome you say is unwholesome. That we call it as a 教壞細蚊仔 So that was the meaning to say in the perception is very important. We bring it well to the people. Really the perception is very crucial, it's very influential to the feeling. Okay, for example, okay, you see now after MCO already, right? Okay, if let's say we're going to travel, for example, China, in Guangzhou, now you're able to buy the ticket maybe with a $200, see or not, but during the MCO, it can hit to maybe $20,000. Now it go back to the $400. Okay, so okay, if you try to compare, if you are forced to go to the Guangzhou for the business purpose, okay, you pay 20K for the Guangzhou, but now okay, everything go back to normal, you pay $400. So what do you feel, Junta? Previously you pay 20K, now you pay 400. So what will you feel, Junta?
Sure feel like shock change.
You feel good or feel bad?
Not sure it's bad.
You feel
from more from less to more, right?
No, from more to less. I mean,
From more to less.
From 20K to 400. Okay, so you feel good or you feel bad?
Should feel good.
You feel good, right? Why you feel good?
Can save a lot.
You thought that I earn a lot, right? Okay, you earn a lot, okay, but tomorrow I get a ticket with a $0. Okay, I tell Junta, hey, I get a $0. You feel good or you feel bad? I tell you, I just
got a ticket yesterday, $0, but you bought with $400. You feel good or you feel bad?
Good.
Why? Good lah. How come? Because you miss out the $0 ticket. Basically, people say, you maybe you think, if you buy today, maybe you will earn another $400, right? You will feel good. You feel good if you feel you can earn a $400. But if you compare today, I get with the $0, meaning to say that you might feel that I lost $400, right? See or not? Okay. So you see, meaning to say that the feeling actually based on the perception, and the perception is based on the comparison. This is actually not reliable. But basically, we always play by it, especially the share market fluctuation. Am I right? If you do any investment, basically, most of the time, they are paper loss, paper gain only. But the paper loss and paper gain is enough to make your mood back for the whole day already. Am I right? You see or not? Actually, the perception actually some perception usually comes from a comparison, and most of the people, they will die of it. They will die of it. But basically, the comparison, it depends how you see. How do you perceive? So Junta, actually, let's say I buy the ticket with a $400, then I tell you, I buy with the $0. If you can reply me that, no, I still earn, because previously MCO, I spent 20K, now $400, I earn a lot, I feel satisfied already. Then you can stop there, you see or not? You can choose how you perceive the thing, then you have the feeling together. See or not? If let's say you just want to choose that, I got $0, you got 400, you lost 400, that's your choice. Finally, you will get bad mood. See or not? But you always compare with the 20K you spent previously, you always see the thing are cheap, right? Always you see they are cheap. So that's why people, if you go to travel Europe and the Singapore, you always times 4 times 5, you cannot enjoy the whole trip. Everything is expensive, even a bottle of mineral water, times 5 in Euro, it becomes $5 Malaysian ringgit. everything is expensive already. But if let's say you have the perception that, oh, in Europe, the fresh graduate degree earn 2,000, the engineer they earn 15,000 euro lah. So by just buying with a €1, well, this is, or half a euro, oh, well, it's satisfied. It's good, it's acceptable. So meaning to say that how you perceive the thing, it depends on the way you put yourself in the context. See or not? Okay. According to experience, actually in Euro, usually if you go to maybe Euro and UK, Elena, am I right? Basically 2 or 3 euro, you can drink a cup of coffee in a very good ambience restaurant, right? 2 to 3 euro, right? But in Malaysia, at least 20 ringgit. If you go to Pavilion, you go to Jalan Sultan, all the good place, you see or not? But we still earn 3K per month, you know, generally. They also earn 3K per month, but the €3 can have a good, enjoy a cup of coffee. But here we have to spend 20, see or not? So meaning to say that that's why people once they work in foreign country, they don't want to come back due to the purchasing power. So see, not everything is relationship with the perception, how you perceive the thing. So this perception, we always play by it. Actually, we always play by ourselves. We ourselves always trap ourselves in the bad mood because we don't use the good way to perceive the thing. See or not? So basically, psychology, they have a very in-deep, profound knowledge in this perception compared with us. That's why all the counselors, they will ask first, they will try to find out how you perceive the word, how do you define the word. The definition of your word is very crucial. For example, if let's say, maybe I quote an example, okay, for example, okay, yes, okay, you see a cup or not? You see a cup, right? Okay, you see a cup, okay, Mrs. Leong, 你覺得呢個杯乾唔乾淨啊？
呢個乾咯，入邊唔知乾唔乾淨。
唔知係咪近啲又睇唔到喎，近啲睇一睇先。睇到冇？睇到冇？
乾淨。
呢個杯乾淨係咪？你睇到乾淨係咪？哦，其實好唔乾淨。我睇到呢度又有 stain， 嗰度又有 stain， 嗰度又有 stain。So meaning to say actually, the definition of clean is quite different between Mrs. Leong and me. See or not? So the definition can shape our perception and also can shape our mood. If let's say you always see the thing is very clean because you don't, you don't strictly define it, I think you enjoy most of a lifetime. But the way I see you as 你係邋遢貓dirty cat, okay, but you can say no, you are a clean cat. 一樣嘅啫嘛，所以 see we always live in the world of the perception. We always play by it. Okay, so it's something to do. So always remember the keyword labeling. Second is the definition for the perception. For this cetasika lah. Okay, class, let's take a look. So here is the perception is the perceived quality. See, so the function is the recognizing it has been previously perceived. Okay, and then you see it's an interpreting of the object. It talk about the interpretation, and the example is the carpenter recognition. So remember, perception will influence your feeling. It depends how you do the perception. Basically, the way we perceive the world it has something to do with our childhood, especially family education. Our parents will strongly influence how to perceive the world. If let's say you brought up in a family with a lot of violence, domestic violence, so maybe you don't see a family, you don't see love, they are positive. You don't see them positively because you never experienced the loved one. I remember sometimes we encounter very senior people, maybe 90 years old, that era. Sometimes we notice that they never see things positive one. Even though some of our friends brought their mother with this age to the foreign country, and maybe not 90, maybe 70, the time they're 70 years old, bring them to the Europe, bring them many country, but they never appreciate, they never feel enjoy. So finally we notice that what after investigation, they noticed that the mother brought up in the family, which is always biased to the man and always demean the woman and always they never praise people one. Right or not? The older generation never praise one. You do good, they say it's the bad one. You work hard to do something, they will say, you never success one, don't do lah. They always say like that, right? The very old age generation. So the one who brought up in this environment, sometimes they don't feel the appreciation, they don't feel the metta, they don't feel the joy, they never be appreciated. So finally end up, it shaped their perception. Finally, they never enjoy and see them, and never will appreciate whatever people do to them. So this is how our childhood will shape our perception. So make sure always if we met any junior, we always praise them, we show our appreciation, and then finally when they become adult, they know how to appreciate the world. Okay, so after this, so we come to the number 4, volition, one-pointedness, mental faculty, and attention. Yes, Mr. Leong, you try to read volition, please.
Volition, chetana, comes from the same word as chitta. Is the mental factor that is concerned with the actualization of a goal. That is, the cognitive or volitional aspect of recognition. Thus, it is rendered volition. The commentaries explain that chetana organizes its associate mental factors in acting upon the object. Its characteristics is the state of willing. Its function is to accumulate, and its manifestation is coordination. Its proximate cause is the associated states. Just as a chief pupil recites his own lesson and also makes the other pupils recite their lessons, so when volition starts to work on its object, it sets the associated states to do their own task as well. Volition is the most significant mental factor in generating karma, since it is volition that determines the ethical quality of the action. One-pointedness, ekagata. This is the unification of the mind on its object. Although this factor comes to prominence in the jhanas where it functions as a jhana factor, the Abhidhamma teaches that the germ of that capacity of mental unification is present in all types of consciousness, even the most rudimentary. Their functions as the factor that fixes the mind on its object. One-pointedness has non-wandering or non-distraction as its characteristics. Its function is to conglomerate or unite the associated states. It is manifested as peace, and its proximate cause is happiness. Mental life faculty. There are two kinds of life faculty. The mental, which vitalizes the associated mental states, and the physical, which vitalizes material phenomena. The mental life faculty alone is intended as a cetasika. It has the characteristics of maintaining the associated mental states, the function of making them occur, manifestation as the establishing of their presence, and its proximate cause is the mental states to be maintained. Attention, manasikara. The Pali word literally means making in the mind. Attention is the mental factor responsible for the mind's advertence to the object, by virtue of which object is made present to consciousness. Its characteristics is the conducting of the associated mental states towards the object. Its function is to yoke the associated states to the object. It is manifested as confrontation with an object, and its proximate cause is the object. Attention is like the rudder of a ship, which directs it to its destination, or like a charioteer who sends the well-trained horses, that is, the associated states, towards their destination or object. Manasikara should be distinguished from vitaka, while the former turns its concomitants towards the object. The latter applies them onto the object. Manasikara is an indispensable cognitive factor present in all states of consciousness. Vitaka is a specialized factor which is not indispensable to cognition.
Thank you so much. Very good reading from Mr. Leong.
Thank you.
Thumb up once you finish. Okay, thank you. Class, let's take a look. Now we come to the perception, we come to the volition. Basically, volition is the most common and popular cetasika. Why? It has something to do with the karma. And it is generating the karma. If you remember, I think the first lesson, the first moment you come to the Buddhism association, maybe the first thing you learn is about the karma. So meaning to say that everything has something to do with the karma. Finally, you will learn the lesson that you speak a good thing is a karma. You talk, okay, your bad mouth also is a karma, and then you do the good deed also is a karma, and then you finally you notice that whatever you do all has something to do with the karma. So sometimes karma is the replacement of the God. Am I right? Sometimes you say, "Aya, karma lo." And then it seems like karma is a replacement of the God or something can judging everything. But in abhidhamma, basically, karma is a volition, meaning to say that you have this cetasika, and this cetasika, when it plays role, you will create the karma. But basically, 89, we got 89 ceta as consciousness, right? All have the cetasika, but not every moment they will function to create the karma. They will only create the karma once they are in the when they are in the certain stages. Okay, in the certain stages. In what stages? Class, take a look. They only play the function as a karma in this stage. We go back to the list of the table. Okay, the list of the table. We go to the list of the table, chapter number 4, class. Okay, the very great object, page 155. We go to the page 155. 155. So class, take a look. So this is our complete idol process. Okay, idol process. See or not? You are able to see number 1 to number 17. Everyone represent one of the consciousness, one of the citta. So you will see, we will label them with a different name, right? Number 1, you see past bhavanga, second vibrational bhavanga. Then number 9, we call it as a jhavana. Okay, so class, basically, here we got totally 15 citta. Okay, all got cetasika, but only from number 9 to number 15 in the jhavana stage, the volition played role and generate the karma only at this stage only. So the karma, the volitional consciousness before number 8, before number 9, and after number 16, they don't create any karma. So that's why even though volitional exists in all the cetasika, but in jhavana is the only state we create the karma. So for example, you hear the sound, right? You hear the sound, right? Okay. Anybody feel the sound is nice? I want me to repeat. Or you feel quite bad, you don't want to listen anymore? Sally, you feel good or bad or neutral? The sound?
Neutral, Sifu.
Neutral. Neutral, no story lah. How about Mr. Silang? Mr. Silang 好聽冇咁樣？好聽冇？定好艱難聽？
冇聽。
冇聽啊！你知冇聽係咪？ So meaning to say, once you feel very bad basically at that moment the jhavana arise. So you start to create the karma. Oh, very bad. So the karma, because due to the unpleasant feeling, so you will take the action. So you say, oh, can you please stop? Don't make the noise anymore. So that is the moment the karma create. But before and after, actually no more karma. Get it? But actually it's very spontaneous. Sometimes we are not very clear how clear the karma arises. Basically, this volition is very important. No matter in the karma concept or in the court case. Class, if you follow the Najib case, Najib spent millions of dollars in in the SRC case, just want to prove one thing is I don't know. The money gone. Am I right? If you really follow the case, right? What they do, just want to prove one thing only. I don't know. Okay. The lawyer, the court said, got your signature. He said, oh, I don't know. Okay. The money all transfer from here and there. I don't know. Everything just said, I don't know. See or not? So why? Actually, I know or I don't know is the volition for the court is very crucial. Because you know or unknown is very different. If you kill people knowingly, that is the killing. If you kill people unknowingly, that is a slaughter, manslaughter. Both are different. You will sentence differently. Am I right? Number one, you can get a capital punishment. But the second, because I don't know, but I kill people, maybe the most is the lifetime imprisonment only. So in the law and earth, Buddhism is the same. If you knowingly create a karma, that will be very crucial. The karma will be stronger. So how to make yourself unknowingly kill people? Yeah, Elena, can you put some example?
飲醉酒 I mean
Besides,
I'm not sober.
yeah.
I'm not sober.
Besides,
I got mental disturbances.
yeah, mental disease, maybe the depression again. You have taken some meth, right? Methamphetamine, all this a drug, right? So if let's say you can prove all this situation, basically you are considered manslaughter. And at that time, because your mental had been, how to say, it's not damaged. You are not clear, the mind is not clear already. We use the word mind, but basically it's about the brain. Your brain is not clear already. If you're able to prove it, then, and in some cases, you could be innocent because you don't know. See or not? Okay. But so that's what the volition is so crucial and important in this part for this universe is so important. Okay. Okay, then, yeah. Okay, let's take a look. So we talk about is the volition. Let's go back to this. You see how volition in Pali, Cetana, please remember it. Okay, it said the function is accumulate the karma. See or not? But you got other function is like what? Achieve people recite his own lesson and make other pupils recite the lesson. Class, remember, if let's say this is the citta, class, okay, they got a lot of cetasika. And the volition here, we will try to guide them to do the whole thing. Remember or not? We got one citta, a lot of cetasika. So volition will play role to guide all them. 簡單嚟講就係咩？大頭鬼啦，就係佢嚟嘅啦。See or not? 大頭鬼 because he will lead all to do the same thing one. Then next, let's take a look. You see, the most significant mental factor is generating karma. Then he determined the ethical quality of the action. See or not? You see, determine the ethical quality. You see, because okay, why determine the ethical quality? Because it depends. You remember, this is a universe. Universe meaning to say that they will make friends with the beautiful mentor. They also will make friends with the non-beautiful citta also. So meaning to say that if they make friends with the beautiful citta, it could be good, no? If you make friends with the non-beautiful, it become the bad. Okay, so that is the meaning here. We call it as what ethical quality of action. Then one point, and that's this is the easiest one to remember because most of us do the meditation. Basically, if your mind is not wandering and you're very concentrate, and some even can feel that the unification between your breath and the object together, that we call it as a one-pointedness. But basically, one-pointedness can happen in the daily life. Have you ever played the mahjong before the Chinese New Year in your childhood? Have you ever played the poker? No. If the people play the mahjong, they go into the samadhi of mahjong. They mention to me, when they close their eye, they still see the fat choy there, The fat choy doesn't run away. During the dream, the fat choy also appeared, you see. So actually, that is the function of the one-pointedness. Get it or not? Basically, in the daily life, there must be one-pointedness involved because without one-pointedness, how come people can plan a series of the robbery, am I right, or a series of a killing? There must be some plan. So meaning to say that one-pointedness exists both in the wholesome consciousness and the unwholesome. must be exist in the both. But maybe some of you experience. Have you ever experienced that once you do the reading, you will read as our childhood during the examination, or you do your work until you forget your meal? Experience that or not? Got it right? Or once you do the working, why you will forget? That is the unification of the mind. We call it as a one-pointedness until you forget your meal already. Some even say to play the music until forget themselves. All cases is the same. But among the best one is to do the meditation until forget yourself. That is the best. Not playing the mahjong. You play mahjong until you forget the meal. So meaning to say that 你係賭鬼啦。Am I right? We say 你呢個賭鬼啊，賭到糧都冇充，飯都唔食。Actually, that is the role of the one-pointedness. Okay, if they make full use of the one-pointedness in meditation, I think they can attain the jhana even faster than us. Am I right? If they can, put in the good place, but usually cannot. Usually cannot because they don't feel interesting with the breath, or maybe empty the mind. They feel so boring. Why are you sitting? Just do the thing like that. But playing mahjong is very challenging. You want to guess how is the situation with the different the opponent? A lot of challenging. They feel that. Okay, then next you see a non-distraction. It says it manifests as the peace and the cause is happiness. Class, can you take a look to the footnote number 7 and mention to me what does that mean? Yes, can you read out to me the footnote number 7? Anyone? Anybody? Sally, please.
Again, these last two commentary statements seem fitting only for one-pointedness that has reached the level of profound concentration.
Yes, so that's why he said happiness. But just now I quote the example, it could be used in the the unwholesome circumstances, right? So remember, it's shared in both. Okay. Then we come to the mental life faculty. Okay, so what does it mean, mental life faculty, in a simple way? Class, have you ever heard about that? Especially in Tibetan Buddhism. You always heard that some Tibetan monk, they will claim that, I'm going to die, so I will reborn in somewhere there. Please go and fight me. Heard about that? Heard about that And sometimes we heard about, especially from Nian Fo, they're chanting the Buddha in a very good samadhi and good achievement. They will say, I'm going to pass away maybe tomorrow. You all come, we met together. So we say something like that. Okay. So, but I finally noticed, not Buddhism only. Even though non-Buddhists, they are able to feel all these things. Especially, they all have a common thing is they achieve the samadhi. Why they will know they're going to pass away tomorrow? They got a few ways to make you can predict why you're going to pass in the later on, next week and next month. One of the methods which involve the vipassana is to check your life faculty. Basically, in your body, no matter material or the mental or the material, there will be one component, the cetasika. It will show that because this mental faculty, it will maintain your life. It will maintain your life. It will maintain how long then your jeta, the whole jeta will disappear, or your atom of your body will disappear. So from there you know that no, you cannot pass so long. So that is a true vipassana way. But just now previously what I mentioned, they got a few ways people can know why they pass away. Number one, through some psychic. If let's say you achieve some samadhi, some people, they will start to have the feeling that they know what happened tomorrow. and it's getting more and more accurate. Tomorrow, oh, okay, I saw my family, my neighbor got accident, and then next week I saw my mother will strike a lottery. A lot of things are you're able to predict, and it's getting more and more accurate. So once you go to the last moment, you predict, next week I'm going to die, then you know, oh, you're going to die. Very accurate. Second, maybe there will be somebody inform you, especially Dharma protector lah. Some once they meditate very, very well, they can, they know a lot of Dewa or what, so they used to consult them, but they just keep quiet. So finally, the Dewa will reply that, oh, you're going to pass away in the next month, so he will know lah. So this is a few things. The third one, with the help of the samadhi. Basically, samadhi, the power will combine together with the psychic and the inspiration. They will know, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow. So this is how they know that lah. But if you're able to check the life faculty, that will be the vipassana, mental life faculty. See or not? You see, they got two types. Vitalize the associate mental and vitalize the material phenomena. You got both aspects. Okay, their purpose is what? The establishing of their presence. So meaning to say that if your mental faculty is very weak, you cannot maintain your mental or you cannot maintain your material, so your last moment is about to come already. But for the Tibetan, we don't know how they're skilled. Tibetan, we don't know. Just we know that some they're able to tell I will reborn somewhere there, so they will write down some poem and pass down to their student and ask the student go to find them. Okay, why? I think they worry they will try to keep quiet because they maybe worry for the communist government, because the communist government want to control the authority in the Tibetan. But in Tibetan, basically, it is ruled by the head of the spiritual. They are quite different. But for communists, you cannot go beyond them. So they want to control you. So they'll be keep quiet if they are able to predict their reincarnation, where they are going to reincarnate. So there's maybe something regards that. Okay, so class, you meditate well lah. So possible you just remind us when you're going to pass away lah. Mr. Leong, Elena and Sally, I think it is good lah. But make sure you must be accurate 咯。你講你愛死係咪？我哋嚟到睇你又唔死，咁咪死it could be embarrassing if your prediction is wrong, very embarrassing. So everybody is waiting for you. You say you want to die, why you still do not die?
會生死啦，師傅。
Yeah. Actually, they got some historical data. Mentioned there are people they call all the friends have a final dinner together before they pass away. But of course, there also some record for the embarrassed moment. They don't pass away. It's just like you go to the bus stop to bid farewell to your friend, but don't know why the bus just don't want to depart. So very embarrassing. You want to say bye bye, but the bus doesn't depart. So you're just waiting. Why the bus not move? I want to bid farewell, cannot bid farewell already. Very embarrassing. Okay. So anyway, unless you're very confident. So if you're not confident, better don't tell the whole world that I'm going to die tomorrow. Please come. Don't say this word. Okay. Among all the school, basically the Pure Land school, they make the cases to make the promise most is the Pure Land school. Especially for those attained the samadhi, and the Zen school also can. Basically, Zen school, some practitioner they can just die when they're standing, immediately they die already. By standing or just eating, that they are able to do so. So meaning to say they can control life or death. So this is basically for Mahayana, they don't have a strong knowledge regards this life faculty, not much. Even though samadhi, the mechanism behind the samadhi, not all can tell you very well. the way I see it lah. So we have to know the mechanism, and then we work hard lah. Hopefully one day. And besides this basically class, if you got the samadhi power, you also can make the willpower to burn yourself with the life of the fire element in your body. You can do that. Because class, if let's say you go to learn the fire kasina, or you're able to enlarge the fire element in your material, then the moment you pass away, you just do the programming in your brain. So you just program that once I just die, please let my body, the fire element, burn my whole body. Then you're able to do that. So we call it as a samadhi of fire. And then you can also say, just keep my heart or my tongue remain there. The rest, please burn. It will happen based on your wish, or it depends on samadhi power. So Mr. Leong, what you want to remain, if you're able to play the samadhi fire, what you want to remain?
Don't play lah, Sifu.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Hey, actually, if let's say, okay, I want to lift a finger, then really lift a finger, it will be a good example for the future of the student, the Buddhist. Because everybody, they were surprised, how come the school bus driver, Mr. Leong, are able to lift a finger and burn the whole body? So I mean, it make them to think deeply, So actually, before you pass away, you play some psychic just to want to remind the people, don't always indulge in the 5 desire only. Try to think about that. Oh, there will be something more than the 5 desire. Is good. Okay, Mr. Leong, so just think about that. Yeah, Elena, please, you raise hand.
Before my question, Mr. Leong, don't leave behind your finger, leave behind your gold bars.
No lah, lift your teeth lah, Mr. Leong, lift your teeth. Lift your teeth. Okay.
Okay, Sifu, I want to ask.
Okay.
I think I read somewhere before, there's some Sifu who passed away. They know the date they want to die. Then they talk to their student. Then the student ask them, please don't die first. And then they extend it by 2 or 3 days, or that kind of thing. So how do they do that?
I
mean, your
think
time already up.
they are using the mind power samadhi to sustain it. Basically, it can happen because in 普贤菩萨10大愿望the second last is a 请佛住世请佛住世 meaning to say that you should ask the Buddha to sustain longer. Ananda needs sit up. So that's why in some commentary the Kashyapa admonish Ananda, why you don't ask the Buddha to sustain longer? If they're able to do so, they are using the samadhi power to do that. Samadhi power is so strong, so they will make it keep it longer a little bit the body You see, Liu Zhu, the body is still now here 1,000 years. Why? That is the power of samadhi and the psychic. Okay. So Elena, you try to, if you're able to achieve some samadhi, don't 2 days 20 more years Enjoy another 20 year traveling something like that.
I also read somewhere or something like that.
Yes.
There's one Sifu who has passed away. The body is like that, but then the heartbeat is still ongoing.
Heartbeat
yeah, I can't remember which. It seems the heart is still intact one.
If let's say the heart still keep fresh a moment, I think it's still reasonable to make the heart fresh, but the heartbeat should be stopped because it should be stopped, but you can keep the heart still fresh. It's possible. It's possible.
Still possible.
You still use the samadhi power to do that, but cannot be long, cannot be too long because basically they do this usually on purpose. They purposely do that. Just want to remind the devotee that you should do the meditation. Those who are able to keep the heart, the bhikkhuni is in the Liu Zhu temple, Guangzhou. I think Sally, Elena, you should go because this is the example from a bhikkhuni. I remember the case that she purposely keep the heart. And in Jiuhuasana, the first bhikkhuni to keep the undecayable body, you can find in the Jiuhuasan. So next time you go to Jiuhuasan, you have to look for it. Because the bhikkhuni, the first lady to keep in China. So they will be a good example for you all. So Elena, change your trip to there okay. Instead of Arctic and Antarctic, can go there. See the first body, and then use their power to make your own vow. So we use their power to make our vow. Hopefully that we also can, at least some achievement. Maybe pass away without much pain. At least, if a bedridden, that is very bad outcome already. Or we don't want that type of a consequence. A bedridden, not good. Or just meditate and then pass away. That will be the best. Okay, next. Let's. Okay. So this is a mental life faculty. You can just highlight for yourself. Then the last one is the number 7 is attention manaskara. That's basically manaskara is a very famous Pali name. Very famous. Why we say it is very famous? Because we say always we say yoniso manaskara. So manaskara actually is attention. So what does it mean attention? Meaning to say, you see, you hear the sound, right? Okay, you pay attention, the sound is there. Okay, actually the moment is very short, then your attention gone already. Then suddenly people call you, you go to have a look. Why you will shift your attention? The reason is because the object also come from there. See or not? Then or maybe my class, you start to feel sleepy already. And suddenly some sound there, you shift your attention. So how come your mind play the role in this way is due to the cetasika of the manaskara. You see, mind's advertence to the object. Okay, so they say conducting sarana of the associate mental state toward the object, you're able to conduct it. Unlike the router of the ship, router of the ship, I think router should be the angle, right? Am I right? Let's see. Router.
It is the or, rather, or.
Rather is this. I see. Rather is this. See, type of the rudder. It's used to stop the ship, right? Like an anchor, right, Mr. Leong? Is this?
No, to direct the ship.
Direct the ship. I see. Yes, Manaskara is direct your attention. So this one, the router, direct attention of the ship. So the ship will change the direction. Okay, well, the Titanic with ship we sunk down is because the rudder they catch the iceberg, right? Am I right? I don't know. Titanic is very famous. What? Why you don't know? How come you don't know? So famous in the Western, to the Western people. Okay. But anyway, they got reason. They got one ship. They go to explore the Titanic, but the whole ship gone already, and inside there all are the millionaires. You get the story there? I got the story there. They got one rich people. Why? Luckily he escaped because he say when he go to visit the whole ship that's why this should be the submarine. He go to visit. He said, well, the navigator just like a navigator in playing the games, the video games, he said, how come the marine, how to say, the submarine go down to the ship, you're using the video game and navigator. So he said, I feel not safe. So he just I think he just missed it out. He just dropped the appointment. So finally he saved himself. Then inside all are the rich people. See or not? So So as Mr. Leong said, don't play. So finally, the life gone already. The whole ship explode, right? A whole ship explode. Even the corpse cannot fight. I think due to the pressure is too strong. Even the corpse.
No, it's not explode. It's implosion. Pressure crushes it inside.
Outside to inside, right?
Yes.
Outside. Yeah. Just like this was a tin now. The tin crashed down already, right?
Yes.
So meaning to say the whole body has been smashed until don't know become what already, right? Terrible. So we know from here we know So that will be number 7, attention. Okay. So manaskara, here got the comparison with the vitaka. Later how we come back here. Now we go to the occasional. So occasional, remember what does mean occasional? Mean to say the class, occasional, sometimes, list of the table, we go back to list of table, chapter, you see this one, page 28, class take a look, 28. If let's say the Cetasina is the occasional, meaning to say that sometimes it will appear, sometimes it won't appear. It depends on the circumstances. And the circumstances is something we have to learn, go deep on. So now we go to number second, initial application. Okay. Yeah, Elena, can you please read the passage, Elena, please.
Initial application, sustained application, decision, energy, zest, and desire. These 6 mental factors are termed occasionals. Thus, these 13 mental factors should be understood as ethical variables. The occasionals, pakinaka, the 6 cetasikas in this group are similar to the universals in being ethically variable factors which take on the moral quality of the chitta as determined by other concomitants. They differ from universals in that they are found only in particular types of consciousness, not in all. Initial application, vitaka. Vitaka was already introduced in the discussion of jhanas, where it appears as the first of the 5 jhanas factors. Vitaka is the application of the mind to the object. Its characteristic is the directing of the mind onto the object. Its function is to strike at and trash the object. It is manifested as the leading of the mind onto an object. Though no proximate cause is mentioned in the commentaries, the object may be understood as its proximate cause. Ordinary vitaka simply applies the mind to the object. But when the vitaka is cultivated through concentration, it becomes a factor of jhana. It is then termed apana, the absorption of the mind in the object. Vitaka is also called sankappa, intention. Such is distinguished as mika sankappa, or wrong intention, and sama sankappa, or right intention. The latter is the second factor of the eightfold path. Sustained application, vichara. Vichara is also a jhana factor, has the characteristic of continued pressure on the object. In the sense of examining it, its function is sustained application of the associated mental phenomena to the object. It is manifested as the anchoring of those phenomena in the object. The object may be understood to be its proximate cause. The difference between vitaka and vichara has been discussed above.
Okay, thank you so much, Elena. We stop here because another comparison in the previous one. Okay, we go back here a little bit lah. Here, there will be the distinguished manaskara. Okay, class, basically we come to the Vitakka, Vichakara, we call it the occasional. So just now we explained already the meaning of the occasional. So it is not universally present in all the citta, but just occasionally. Basically, the example for the example to use to the Vitakka, Vichakara is regards the flower and the bee. Class, you see this picture. Once the bee come to the flower, we call it as the Vitakka. If let's say the bee just keep on, just keep on. Attaching. Just round with the flower. We call it as Vichara. So that's the example we use. Same during meditation. You see, class, with our breath, right? So we pay attention to the breath. That is Vitakka already. So the breath in out, we are very mindful, in out, very mindful, until the whole hour we're very mindful. That is the Vichara already. Junta, same, once you're doing the chanting of mantra, so you hear the mantra, you pay attention, you start Vitakka already. And then for the whole mantra, from the first sound of the mantra, you are mindful, second word of mantra, you're mindful, until the whole mantra, you're mindful. That is the Vichara already. But basically, actually, you can enjoy, you have the joy, is due to the Vichara. But basically, we don't express in this way. We always say, are you mindful or not? But we seldom say, are you Vichara or not? We don't say. We don't say the sustained application, but we say it's a mindful. But basically, you have to be sustained application, then you can be mindful for the long time, and then finally you can feel the joy. Okay, for the Vitakka, just now we mentioned, right, the bee come to the flower, okay, but if you fully develop the Vitakka, we call it as the apana. So that's why we say, whether your jhana reached the apana or not, you say if your jhana reached the apana, meaning to say that you are fully absorbed. That is the function of the Vitakka. But you have to develop it until you have to fully develop it until to the jhana stage. Or it becomes just a very normal directing the mind only. If you totally absorb, must be in the jhana, then you can feel the Vitakka. Anyone feel that during the meditation you found that your mind fully absorbed to the object? Anybody feel that? You feel right, right? You feel right. So class, wherever you feel, is the Vitakka have been fully developed already to the jhana stage. Then you feel, wow, I fully absorbed. So we call it as absorption jhana, or we call it as apana. It's due to the Vitakka. Okay, class, let's take a look. So we go back to the text. So you see here we call it as initial application. We call it as a Vitakka. You see how it appears in the 5 jhana. So that's the application of the mind to the object. Class, you see, always we use directing the mind. See or not? And then it become a jhana factor. We term it as the apana. So apana is the second factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. What is the second factor, Mr. Leong, in the Eight Noble Path? What is the second factor?
The cause of suffering.
No. Eight Noble Path.
Second, right intention.
Right attention. Basically, the right attention in Abhidhamma, we define it as a Vitakka. Okay, so remember that lah, Mandarin zhen jian, zhen siwei, so zhen siwei actually is vitaka. So Junta remember, Abhidhamma used a different way to interpret all the Dharma. Okay, right attention. So you thought, right attention, I should pay attention, right? Actually, no. Actually, it's vitaka. But I think English translation more close to Abhidhamma. Right? Not vitaka meaning to say you're directing the mind, just like a right attention, right? Why they put it as a right attention? The reason is because your mind always leading to liberation. So that's why the second one, you have the right view already. The right view meaning to say the view away leading you to the liberation. Then finally, your mind will always go to the liberation. You diverting, you're always heading to the liberation. So we call it as a right attention. That is their way to interpret it. Okay, yes, Mr. Leong, want to say something? No lah,
okay. I think so. This right intention is due to Yonesu Manasikara.
Yeah. But in Abhidhamma, it doesn't use Yoneso Manasikara. It uses Vitaka. Surprise! It's a different way already. You have to change your mindset in Abhidhamma way how to interpret all the Dharma. Okay, and then class, let's take a look. You see, second factor. Then the sustained application is the vichara. You see, class is the sense of examining. So you see, class, this is the flower. This is the bee, right? So vitaka, the bee come. Then the bee start to examining it. It's the vichara. It's the same. Class, you pay attention to the breath. Then the breath in, out, in, out, in, out. You know it very well. You examine it. So we call it as a vichara. So that is the meaning here of vichara. Then we say anchoring of those phenomena in the object. So basically the word anchoring is here. Why? Class, basically, when your mind's always pay attention to the breath, just like you are anchoring it. Just like you're emptying your mind, you do the qigong, you're emptying your mind. You keep on emptying your mind, also you feel like anchoring also. It's quite about the same. Okay, so we finish here. So we go back here, class. The difference between the manaskara, you see manaskara distinguished from the vitaka. In what sense? Number one, you see, manaskara turn the concomitant toward the object. They later apply them onto the object. You see, one is the turn to them, second is apply to them. I think quite close. Mr. Leong, in English, can you tell the difference? Turn into the object, then you apply to the object. What's the difference in English? Quite close, right?
Turn into the object is actually to have a what you call to direct your thoughts into it or concentration, focus.
How about the other one to it?
The other one is to apply your concentration.
What's the difference? It seems
one is in and one is out.
What is in, one is out? I don't know. That's the English problem. Okay, if not clear enough, go to check dictionary. Okay, Junta, memorize the dictionary. We see. Can you just
it's something like vitaka and vichara.
No, because it's still different. It's manaskara and vitaka. Yeah, Junta, you memorize the dictionary. Can you tell us the difference? Turn toward object and apply onto the object. What is the difference?
So my line hang.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, what is different, Junta?
Hello.
Yes, it's okay. We hear you.
So my line is not stable.
Never mind. You just off your camera.
No, it hangs.
Are you off your camera?
Just now I can't get the sentence.
Okay, please explain.
I can't get the sentence. Which sentence is that?
Yeah, this is the sentence. You see here. Manaskara, you see turn toward the object. Then the vitaka is apply on.
Sorry, so I can't hear you because just now it hangs.
Okay, never mind, like that the case. Okay, later lah. Okay, so class, in order to know the difference, maybe you go to flip the dictionary in detail lah. For me, it's about the same only. My English level is quite similar. But Mr. Leong, you just tell the difference. One go in something, one is go out, something like that lah. Simple way lah. Okay. Okay, class, let's take a look. So we finish here. We go another decision, energy, says, desire, another. So we go another two more decision and energy. Yes, Sally, can you please read the passage, decision and the energy?
Decision. The word Kim Koka means literally the releasing of the mind onto the object. Hence, it has been rendered decision or resolution. It has the characteristic of conviction and the function of not groping. The manifestation as decisiveness. Its proximate cause is the thing to be convinced about. It is compared to a stone pillar owing to its unshakable resolve regarding the object. Energy. Viriya. Viriya is the state or action of one who is vigorous. Its characteristic is supporting, exerting, and marshalling. Its function is to support its associated states. Its manifestation is non-collapse. Its proximate cause is the sense of urgency, samaviga, or a ground for arousing energy. That is anything that serves one to vigorous action. Just as new timbers added to the old house prevent it from collapsing, or just as a strong reinforcement enables the king's army to defeat the enemy. So energy upholds and supports all the associated states and does not allow them to reside.
Okay, thank you so much.
Decisiveness.
Okay, class, let's take a look. The decision is the Arti Mokha. Sally, Arti Mokha. Arti Mokha, in the
Simple way is decisiveness. Basically, the decisiveness means what? Especially in the debate or in the discussion, you try to, defend your stand. That is recorded as a decision. But sometimes we may confuse that. The decision is an attachment. We have the experience or not? During discussion, if you always you try to stand your point, you keep on mention you want to stand the point, people will say, "Aya, mo kam chấp chẹt lah." Am I right? Actually, it's not that correct. In Buddhism, if something you feel is correct, you should be decisive. You should stick on it. You should like the pillar. But sometimes, once we try to be stick on one point, usually the anger element will arise together. So that's why sometimes you found that it seems that you stick to your point is wrong. actually, what wrong is the anger elements. It's not the decisive. It's not the decisive. Decisive actually is the good. So here, if your mental state can be decisive, meaning to say you are like a pillar, stick to one point, very strong. Okay, get it? So that's why we call it as a decisive abhidhamma. Then second is the energy. Energy in a simple way is the vigorous. So how do we know you are vigorous? Because you are non-collapse and you are supporting. For example, you see basically this one the energy you can see it is applied in both wholesome and unwholesome. You see or not, until now Chipko is still a defense for himself, you see. So you can say that, oh, he showed the energy because he's not collapsing. He keep on fighting for himself, you see. For those who do the meditation, it's the same, 7 days, you just keep on meditating non-stop, the whole hour, second hour, third hour. So meaning to say that you are in the energy state, non-collapse. And basically in Buddhism, our context is a little bit different. Why? Because the proximate cause for your vigorous is because of sense of urgency. What does it mean, sense of urgency? There's a few things you try to remember how to make you become the sense of urgency. Number one is about the fear. Fear of what? Okay, sometimes the people fear for reincarnation, the people fear of the rebirth, the people fear for the death, the people fear with the disease, and the people fear reborn as a human again because once all these things. They all become the proximate cause for energy. So that's why not all the fear is bad. Sometimes the fear, if let's say the fear is under this group, we call it as a samvega, that is the good fear, because this sort of fear make you vigorous. See or not? Basically, we can see the fear very obvious, especially before the examination or during our study time, and now especially the deadline will cause you vigorous. See or not? So this one, the deadline, all this we call it as a samvega. But if let's say your vigorous is moved towards to the liberation, this one is the Buddhism perspective in the proper manner okay. Okay, so this is we call it as an energy so class remember so besides this if let's say people who is full of the energy, especially cultivation, they behave differently. Why? Okay, if let's say it's time for them to go to the work, so no matter how they will it's time for meditation, they will say, oh, I have to meditate because during the working I don't have time to meditate. I have to meditate now. And second, they will say, oh, I have to meditate. Why? Because before the meditation, before the working, I should meditate so that I can meditate. And the one who is full of energy, they say, I should meditate after the work. Why? Because during the work, I cannot meditate. And the fourth is about the sickness. They say, oh, I should meditate because during the sickness, I cannot meditate. So I should meditate. Okay. And if let's say the stomach is empty, they will say, I should meditate so that because if I'm hungry, I cannot meditate. So I have to meditate. Then they will say, when they're full, they say that, oh, I should meditate also. Why? Because I should meditate in order to avoid, because I have energy to meditate. For those no energy, everything opposite. When they're full, they say, let me rest first, then I meditate. When they're hungry, they say, oh, I'm hungry. I have no energy to meditate. It's time to work. They say, oh, it's time to work. Let me finish the work. Then I meditate. Then before the work, they say, let me, after the work, I meditate. See or not? If the one with energy, without energy, they will behave differently. So you have to ask yourself, if you got energy, you are different already. You behave very different. You've got 100 reasons to support yourself for being energy, and also you have 100 reasons to support yourself for being non-energy. But usually, once people in the old age, like us, I'm middle age, you all is getting old age. Basically, the old itself and the sickness itself is the proximate cause for the energy. Young people, they can hardly feel that, especially for meditation, for the cultivation. Just you have to ask yourself. So class, just like I put some example. Can you think about for yourself that which one is the samveka for you? Okay, can you please try to think and write it down? Which one is the samveka? What will create your sense of urgency? Okay, if you finish, please thumb up by Zoom. Okay, Mr. Leong, finish. Okay. Raise hand, raise hand. Mr. Leong, no. Raise hand by Zoom. Because Zoom will calculate for us. You see, two people raise hand, you see. They do me the calculation, the Zoom itself. Sally and Junta not yet finished. How come so less people? According to the calculation, we should have 11 people. Okay, 2 people finished. Sally finished? Raise hand by Zoom. You know how to raise hand by Zoom? Okay. So we finished our class. Sally have to stay back. In the previous lesson, they're all waiting for you, but you run away already without recapitulation. Okay. So 1 minute. Can you all please close your eye? Try to recall what you learned today. 1 minute from now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but not.
Time's up. Please on the mic. I wish to inculcate.
I wish